Is your child getting bullied by friends? Do you want to know why this happens? Well, in this video, not only will I tell you why your child is being bullied by friends, but I will also tell you what you can do about it. Oh, and before I go any further, don't forget to hit the like button. One month before remote learning and before the whole worldwide pandemic, a parent and a teacher who had recently bought my anti-bullying novel asked me, why is my child getting bullied by friends? As a parent myself, my son at one point was being bullied by his friends, and I recognized the helplessness and frustrations I had. And I wondered then what she is wondering now. Imagine if I knew then what I know now, how much more helpful I could have been. If your child is getting bullied by friends, it is because being with your child empowers the bully. Let's focus on the definition of bullying for a second. Bullying is defined as an unwanted, aggressive, often repeated behavior that involves an imbalance of power. Let's focus on the imbalance of power part of the definition for a second. An imbalance of power is referring to there being an uneven distribution of control. One person has more control over the other. If your child is shy, unassuming, or passive, the bully may sometimes befriend them to have someone constantly around that they can control. Having someone around constantly that they can control empowers the bully. Now let's examine this a little closer. You see, what we sometimes fail to understand is that most of these bullies are victims of bullying themselves. If not from school, then from home. They had no control over the abuse they suffered in the hands of others. So, to gain some control over their life, they try to control someone else. And when I say control, I'm not always referring to the control of others' behavior. The bully does try to make you do things that you don't want to do. For instance, they try to control where you go, what to say, what to wear. Often the bully also tries to control how others feel with insults, acts of intimidation. Anger and frustrations inside the bully is what compels them to act. Jealousy sometimes is at the root of the motivation to impose this imbalance of power. In the case of my son, he was a popular kid, funny kid who wasn't used to conflict. His bully wanted to be seen and associated with him because of his popularity. But that was also an opportunity for the bully to control my son's feelings by taking his things and intimidating him. Having that power over a popular kid and likable kid empowered the bully. It likely made him feel better about his shortcomings. It often feels as if they're the only ones going through it. I'm sure you've heard of the phrase, misery loves company, but that has never been more true than with my son's friend or bully. When people are hurting or going through some kind of stress or abuse in their life, it often feels as if they're the only ones going through it. Human beings are also attracted to what they are and often impose how they feel on others to help erase this feeling of or notion of it's only me. By making my son feel annoyed and sometimes frustrated by hiding his things and making fun of him, his friend and bully no longer feels as if he's the only one who feels that way. The most important factor that provoked this imbalance of power is the learned dysfunctional relationship that has influenced us. When this parent asked me the question, why is my child being bullied by friends? I began to ask her some personal questions. She shared information about the relationship she has with her ex-husband and child's father. I was able to see the connection between the dysfunction in the household and why her child allowed themselves to be bullied by a friend. The child grew up seeing abuse and love coexisting in a relationship or friendship. This experience could have indirectly conditioned a child to be more acceptable of this kind of dysfunction. The same way the bully is likely to emulate the abuse and dysfunction they witness in their homes. What we as parents refuse to realize is that we're often the cause of it. Whether directly or indirectly, we blame the schools, we blame society, the video games, the movies, but turn a blind eye to our own dysfunctions that have materialized in our own children. So what can we do about this? Explain to your child why they're being bullied by their friend. This is important because most kids don't understand why they're being targeted or bullied and will often blame themselves. Educate your child on the value of being courageous. If your child's behavior happens to be a byproduct of the dysfunction in your home, explain to them what could have been if indeed you were more courageous. Explain to your child the mistakes you've made so they don't repeat them. Encourage your child to make new friends. Making new friends will confirm to your child that the problem wasn't them. They don't have to stay in unhealthy friendships. And not everyone will bully them or treat them in a manner that they don't deserve. Role play and practice assertive responses to the bullying at home. Do not send your child back to dealing with these bullies without equipping them with strategies or responses that will prepare them for these uncomfortable and unwanted bullying situations. Role play together at home and encourage them to practice. Some of these assertive responses, as well as some useful strategies against bullying, can be found in the novel, The Bully Experience, Daniel's Story. In particular, the chapter called The Solution. Engage in self-esteem building activities or outings with your child. Most children that get bullied, especially the ones that get bullied by their friends, need further help. These children usually have either self-esteem issues or low self-confidence. It is important to get your child engaged with activities that will foster growth in those areas. Some of these activities that can benefit your child include exercising, martial arts, the performing arts, maybe a makeover, a new hairstyle, okay? Sports, okay? Again, you'll find many of these strategies in the novel, The Bully Experience, Daniel's Story. You can read it for free, as well as the article, Why is My Child Getting Bullied by Friends? At thebullyexperiencemovement.com. Until next time.